move on to healthcare. Liberals beside themselves over Republican efforts to kill off their beloved Obamacare. It's so well-intentioned. And they are going to extremes to stop Republicans, while some Democratic congressional hopefuls are taking a more conventional approach of airing TV ads. Progressive groups have been staging die-ins across the country, while some activists are telling those who die without health care to ship their ashes to Republican representatives. That's so mature. Now, meantime, New York Democratic Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney is troubling Republican John Faso of a neighboring district by holding a town hall there last night. So let's talk about it. With my die-hard party panel, let me welcome the Fox News specialist co-host Kat Timpf. She's also a correspondent for the Greg Gutfeld Show. She's joined by Jonathan Hoenig, the founder of Capitalist Pig Hedge Fund and a Fox News contributor, and Democratic strategist, and the Young Turks political reporter Nomiki Konst. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
So, Kat, this is pretty interesting because the healthcare debate is getting insane.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like when you're talking about what you want to do with your dead body, you make sure and wait and see what's going to happen before you send your dead body off to somebody before you know might even happen. These kind of alarmist tactics are what make it impossible to try to find market solutions or even give market solutions a chance. Just because you're not going to get, and I don't like the Republicans' current bill at all, but just because you're not going to get something from the government, that doesn't automatically make it true that you can't get it anywhere. That's just not
I really think there are people who are going to send Nana's ashes to Paul Ryan.
Well, but
I think that's where we've gotten with our discourse.
That's offensive. But why a dine-in? And what is so bad about a dine-in? How would everyone come in and dine together?
Die-in.
Die-in.
They're coming together to die.
They're winning the moral argument. I mean, the Democrats are saying Republicans want to take away your health care. That's wrong. Even Sean Spicer alluded to the fact that he and the president believe that Americans have a right to health care. So it's outrageous, but they're winning the argument, and that's why I think the bill is so disappointing to so many.
It is disappointing, and it's an immoral argument. You know, you talk about winning the moral argument, but it's not moral, it's not right, and more people will suffer because of it. Either the law will continue or it will completely fail if, you know, the Republicans are incapable of intercession at the last moment.
Well, the Republicans really don't have a stake in this at this point. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. This is more of their argument because they've been messaging on this for the past 9 years. They've been campaigning on it, and they want to go back to their districts and win. But we know, you know, at this point, which I'm sure we'll discuss more, that it doesn't have a path forward. So the Democrats, including the centrist Democrats, who are under attack from the left, the large growing left, are using this as their opportunity, especially the moderates, to go out there and say, see, I'm a good Democrat. Look at me. I'm fighting the bad guys over here, the boogeymen over here.
I don't know. I hear too much glee from the left right now. And, you know, because we're talking about people's health. And because, you know, we're talking about some very important decisions that the government has completely muddled. You shouldn't be gleeful. You know, when I say you, I'm talking about progressives, I'm talking about Democrats, I'm talking about the left in general. And, you know, I think people would appreciate if there were some Democrats who stepped in and said, you know what, let's figure this out.
I think you're right, actually. I mean, there are a group of moderate Democrats who have failed the Democratic Party. They lost 1,000 seats in 10 years when we controlled all the houses, when we had the president there to raise money. They didn't spend money on down-ballot races. And as a result, they're using this as an opportunity to say, oh, my God, we don't actually have to do the work on the Democratic Party. We can just go out there
it's much more
and
fun.
just say, mail your ashes around the town.
I mean,
do that. That helps
Sean
a lot
Patrick
of
Maloney
people.
going into Faso's town hall and being like, I'm going to explain everything. That's actually kind of fun. I mean, that's like being a college Republican at Berkeley.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have there's no pressure on them right now. Just say, oh, well, you know, you're all going to die. And that's all they have to do.
You know what an answer is? Single payer. There are some good Democrats out there who are fighting for single payer right now.
Yes, they're called communists. Jonathan?
They're not communists.
Well, but that's I mean, look how the Republicans have moved. The Democrats should be not protesting; they should be dancing in the streets because the Republicans have gone from repeal, which was 2008, to repeal, replace, and now we're just going to take it with it.
Keep it and take it.
So I mean, the Democrats got their wish, and I think that's why the Republicans are worse than impotent right now because they're actually fueling the other side. To Kat's point, coming up with no market solution.
No market solution, no message, and not defending the free market at all, or the concept institution.
And it's just become a political fight when really we're talking about people's health care. And health care and health insurance are not the same thing.
That's a really
good point. Like they're interchangeable, and they're not.
The Republicans have to get used to saying when someone says, well, if we don't have this, that person's going to die, or that person's not get there. Republicans have to get used to saying, that is not my problem as an individual. That's the only way.
Well, this topic is about to die. The GOP's health care plan is in the Senate now, but one senator, Kentucky's Rand Paul, it's a Paul party panel tonight, has his mind on other things. Senator Paul spends most of his time ensuring the average American's right to be left alone, but now he's worried about the privacy of his fellow politicians. Here he is on Hannity last night.
We've been hearing rumors, and anonymous sources have been telling us for a couple of months now that they believe that the Obama administration was spying on other presidential candidates other than Trump, and that it may be politically motivated.
Of course it's politically motivated. Now, last Friday, Senator Paul sent a letter to the White House as well as the House and Senate Intelligence Committees and asked them to disclose whether the intel community did collect and unmask the names of anyone in Congress or on a presidential campaign last year. Now, we haven't seen any direct evidence that this has happened, but the NSA did unmask the names of nearly 2,000 Americans who were incidentally collected in 2016. Should Senator Paul be worried? What do you think about this, Jonathan?
Well,
do you think he's on to something?
Hurrah for him, Kennedy. I mean, before 9/11, there was no Homeland Security and Homeland Surveillance state. This is actually relatively new in our country's history. So Senator Paul's made this an issue, and I applaud his efforts to protect Americans' privacy by following up on these types of spying.
Do you think every president does this, every administration? Because President Obama was horrible on surveillance. He was awful on civil liberties.
Agreed.
And he only bloated that state. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was politically motivated, but why wouldn't every administration?
I mean, Nixon did it. He was notorious for doing this. This goes back to generations, and obviously presidents have quite a bit of privilege to do so.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they were targeting Rand Paul? I think Rand Paul, I'm going to look at the politics of this. Rand Paul is not besties with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has been using this as an argument about against Barack Obama, and I think this is his way of making nice with the president.
What they call the permanent.
No, this is consistently his issue.
Yeah.
This is always his issue.
Right, but that's also good politics.
Even when it's bad politics, he makes this an issue. What was so funny watching the hearings yesterday is watching people like Lindsey Graham who are upset about Susan Rice and not realizing that they help create this culture of, well, if you're not doing anything, then why do you care? The standard being set at if it provides any potential benefit in terms of foreign intelligence, then it's okay. That's how you got into this situation in the first place. And Rand Paul's been the one dude, or one of very few, who have been consistently saying, hey, it's a problem. And now, we're having problems.
But now we see it's both parties who are propping up this false freedom versus security dichotomy.
Exactly.
And it is wrong on every level. My one hope is that the president has been so outspoken about this that hopefully people like Rand Paul will be able to get into his ear and say, you know what, Section 702, it's got to go.
Exactly.
I don't think that'll happen. I think he's being used by the president right now. Rand Paul's political positions are being propped up because that suits the president's narrative. As soon as it doesn't,
maybe Senator Paul has figured out a way to get the president to listen to him. And if that's the case, I am hopeful.
There's always politics in politics.
Amen.
That is true.
And there's always corn and popcorn.
President Trump loves to listen to people.
That's a snack. The party panel returns a little bit later, but first up, reports say the White House is keeping tabs on Liz Warren. That's a surveillable target. And getting a head start to fight off her potential challenge in 2020. Chris Steiwalt joins me to weigh in on the next presidential race. It's already here. All right, Donald Trump didn't just break up Hillary's blue wall on election night. He also broke up a bunch of relationships, according to a new study done by Wakefield Research. Turns out 1 in 10 couples have called it quits over political disagreements. 24% of Americans with a significant other report that since the Donald was elected, they and their partner have disagreed or argued about politics more than ever. So is the president becoming a homewrecker? Is this a continuation of the problem I talked about with one? The party panel is back to discuss Katherine Timpf, Jonathan Hoenig, and Nomiki Konst. So this is really insane because 24% of people argue more than they ever have because of Donald Trump. Does that surprise you?
Mercury's also been in retrograde a lot lately. So that could have something to do with it.
So much in 2017.
I'm just saying. Yeah. But if you are breaking up because of Donald Trump, you're really breaking up because your relationship was a joke. I really think that that's obvious. You should be able to disagree about stuff like that.
Yeah.
If that's what did it, someone maybe would have left something in the microwave at some point, and that would have done you in. You have to be able to.
This is just
I think you're wrong. I mean, what's more important than people's politics and their philosophy? That's like the basic synthesis of who they are.
Is it Donald Trump's fault?
No, but it's his doing.
Why,
I mean,
why is he the impetus for this, though? Why is he
because
the one all of a
it
sudden?
reveals a lot. I mean, people's politics reveals I mean, I knew there was going to be fighting here tonight, actually. I brought a little preemptive kind of peace offering.
Oh, what is that?
Well,
Holy
I just...
cow!
It's a cake. And it's
No, I just thought there would be...
Not
I didn't want to drop it, but so I wanted just to Kennedy, a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers watching. So I just thought we'd all have a little notch, just to kind of ward off any bad fighting that might come.
Well, you know what? You are outnumbered here, and you are flanked by 2 single ladies. So maybe this is the impetus for a future marriage.
Oh, I mean, the way to my heart is through a heart-shaped cheesecake.
Yeah.
All right, well, then maybe
and you also didn't vote for Trump, I'm assuming. See, I would never do that.
You would never vote for Donald Trump?
No, I would
so
never.
What if you were dating a guy that you really, really like?
I wouldn't like him.
And everything else about him was simpatico, and then you find a red "Make America Great Again" hat in his footlocker.
I would say it's probably ironic.
And a set of surgeon's hands.
Surgeon's hands just there. No, I think it reveals, I think Jonathan's right. It reveals who you are. It reveals what type of person you are. If you vote for somebody who did such egregious things on camera, said such egregious things about women, that shows how they respect women. If you, no cheesecake for Kennedy.
Okay, cheesecake.
Okay, cheesecake. We're speaking Greek on set. Okay, totiri. All right, subtitles.
Yeah, well, then you can argue about it, though. You know, arguing can be hot.
Yeah. And would you date someone with a different political bent, Kat?
Absolutely. I have a very weird political bent, so I would be out of a lot of options if I said no.
It's like finding out someone's cheating on you. You know, you always felt like they believed in something, and all of a sudden it's revealed to them that they're not the person I once thought they were.
Are you cheating on your diet right now?
I am. Nobody tell Dr. Atkins.
Actually, there's so much protein in there.
There's really
I think that might be Atkins
you
friendly.
See, we were fighting about politics. Now we're all laughing over cheesecake.
We are. See, we can bring different people with different points of view on this show. And I can't imagine if Nomiki was like, I can't come on today because Jonathan Hoenig is too much of an objectivist.
Well, just don't discount the importance of these ideas. I mean, there's the old thing about you don't talk about politics at the table.
Yeah.
Because people take it passionately. Thankfully, they take it passionately and seriously.
And passionate like cheesecake. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Nomi, Jonathan, and Kat. Jonathan's first time on the panel. Coming up, and he did it right by bringing cheesecake. Well, Uber is in a race to get self-driving cars. Some argue that the technology could mean the end of the ride-hailing company and the industry as we know it. We're going to explain and give the answer to tonight's trivia question, which is, how much money is Uber really worth? $860 million, $12 billion, $34 billion, or $68 billion? The answer's on the other side. Stay here. Wow.